Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, we are going to unbox the brand new Platinum Scout, and it is in a beautiful, beautiful pink. They call it Rose Quartz, and it is exclusive to scrapbook.com. So you know that I had to have this when I saw this. They have a couple different colors. I think there's a lilac, and then, actually, I don't know of the other ones. I know that there is a pink and a lilac, but I think there's some other ones as well. But again, this one is exclusive to scrapbook.com, and I have recently mentioned that I am in love with anything mini or anything that is not at its full size, because I've learned in my, oh gosh, 2 years maybe now, 2 years of card making, that I tend to do super small cuts most of the time. So I can definitely get away with smaller machines, which I really love. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox this. And I love this because I really love my Platinum 6. So I love the idea of having it in a miniature size. So let's go ahead and open this up. For some specifics, it says that there is a 3.5 by 9 inch platform, which is great. Compact and lightweight, which is always nice, especially if you're someone who likes to take your craft supplies on the go. And then just like the Spellbinders Platinum 6, it has those fold down doors, which we'll see in a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and see this beautiful color in person. And then we are gonna make a card because I wanna try out this machine, but I wanna show you the cutest stamp set of 2024. So we're gonna do a card with that in just a bit. All right, so let's see what we have here. Okay, we just have all of the fun little verbiage there. And then we have the dies. Okay, and then this looks to be, that's exciting. This looks to be mimicking the universal plate system, which came out recently. Well, not super recently, but it's the latest plate system that Spellbinders has. And voila, look how cute this little guy is. So it is bigger than the Mini Evolution, which is what I usually use when I use a miniature machine. And I'll bring out the die cutting plates for that machine just so that we can compare. But here it is. Isn't this cute? Okay, I'm right-handed, so I'm gonna switch it around so that the handle is right over here. And then just like the larger machine, you just flip down the front and the back. And I love it because it's heavy enough to where it's going to stay put, but you don't have to suction it down onto your mat or anything like that. Okay, and then it looks like we have some complimentary dies and an embossing folder, which is exciting. That will come in your box as well. And like I said, it is mimicking the universal plate system. So instead of just having a cutting plate or cutting plates and a platform base, we have lots of other things. So we have a shim, an embossing mat, an adapter plate. We have 2 cutting plates, and then we have the platform top. Now, the thing that I like about this system is all of the directions are actually on the base or the platform top, which is super nice because you don't have to, oops, sorry about that noise. You don't have to end up, keeping directions. It's all just right on the items that you're working with. Okay, let's remove some of this tissue, and can we just talk about the pink cutting plates? Isn't that adorable? I love that. In fact, I just did get the pink Mini Evolution, and it came with the pink plates as well. In fact, why don't we, real quick, let's compare the plate sizes, because I think that that would be helpful if you are trying to go on a miniature die cutting machine route. It would be helpful for you to see a comparison between the two. Okay, so this is the Mini Evolution. And again, I just recently unboxed this. Now, I don't know if that video is coming out before this video. So if for some reason you're thinking, I watch all your videos and I didn't see you unbox this yet, just know it's coming out next. I just don't know which order things are going out this week. Okay, so wow, we have quite a bit of a difference. Look at that. So if you are wanting a mini machine, but you're not really wanting to go as small as the Evolution, this offers you, the Platinum Scout offers you a lot more surface area to work with. So that is really exciting. Okay, I wanted to specifically compare those two just because these are, to me, the smallest machines really out on the market. Okay, so Are you ready to see the absolute cutest die set? We're gonna make a fun card today because I want to take this little cutie pie for a test run, and I also am in need of a birthday card. Okay, so this stamp set recently came out. It's a stamp and die set from Concord and Ninth. It recently came out in the last couple of releases. I'm not quite sure which month this came out, but I saw this and I was talking to my friend over at Concord and Ninth, and I was telling her that I about fell off my chair when I saw this, and she graciously sent me one of these. So they did send me this over after I told her how much I loved it. And we're gonna create with this today. So if you are a Stanley lover, like I am, and my friend is, you are going to love this stamp and die set. So let's go ahead and look at the die set. So on this side, we have all of our dies. So it looks like you can make a larger Stanley and then a smaller Stanley as well. So these are kind of little mock-ups of the size difference between the two. And then look at all of the fun things that you can do with them. Aren't they cute? And then they also have the little straw toppers, which is really cute. I haven't gone down the road of a straw topper with my Stanley yet, but I think I'm going to need to. Those are adorable. Okay, and then the coordinating stamps are here. And the thing I love most about the stamp set is all of the little, I don't want to say sentiments, well, kind of sentiments, right? Sentiments, greetings, but all of the little words on here are so cute. So this is my favorite. I love you more than my emotional support water bottle, because I feel like the Stanley can be an emotional support water bottle, at least for me. You deserve all good things, which is just nice and generic. Have an extraordinary day. That's kind of fun, kind of a tongue twister. Sip, sip, hooray, it's your day. You're a limited edition. You've got this. What are you up to? I'm so happy you're in my life. And H2, hello. And I just think this is the cutest stamp and die set. So I've been eager to get this opened up, and today is the day. It's the perfect day to make this card. Okay, I'm going to just, actually, it's so small, and I was speaking to this in the last few videos when doing cards. One of the reasons I like going mini is because then I don't have to really remove it from my workspace. It can stay there and not take up so much area. So yes, I may close it up a bit, but other than that, it just is small enough to not have to move around. Okay, let's grab a card panel and my Misty. Actually, I think we're actually going to start with die cutting because I want to do a big Stanley. So I think first and foremost, I need to figure out some colors that I want to use to create my Stanley. Okay, so again, I want to do a larger one, and I want to bring in a card panel just so we can get an idea. This is an A2 size card panel, so we have 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So look, that takes up quite a bit of room. I love that. Now, what I want to do is keep an eye out for what pieces I need. So I'm going to need a handle, and then I'm just referencing the back. So I'm going to need a straw. Okay, and I think the straw is it 2 pieces? I think it might be 2 pieces, but we'll test this out. And then I'm going to need this piece. Oh wait, maybe that's not 2 pieces. Hold on, I think the straw is just 1 piece. This must be the little, so that's our straw. This must be these 2 pieces, which go this way. And then is that it? Unless we want to do a straw topper, which is super cute, but I think I'm gonna start there. And then I might bring in some florals because I think those are super adorable as well. But before I do the florals, let's decide on the cup colors, because then I can decide what complementary colors I want to do for florals. So I think I'm gonna do a pink. I know I'm gonna do a pink Stanley. I think that would be super cute. And I'm just getting an idea for size here. Okay, that's way cute. Let me grab some cardstock. Okay, so I have a little swatch here for some watercolors that I have, because I'm thinking I might do kind of a watercolor background. Just, it's gonna be very slight and subtle, but just for some fun. So I pulled that because it's going to determine which cardstock pieces that I pull. So I have all Concord and Ninth pieces here. I think I want my main mug to be out of this nice watermelon. Then I have, gosh, which gray is this? This is Pebble. And then we have my beloved Nectar. So I'm going to do, let's just get started with simplifying the space here. Okay, I want to keep that in mind. Let's do our main body of the Stanley in this watermelon. This is way too good. Okay, so we have the watermelon. I'm just getting everything organized. And then I'm going to do the handle and this main part of the water bottle. I'm going to do that. Oh, it says use for curved cup. Oh, can you make a curved cup? Oh, I wonder if you use this piece. Okay, so which one do I need? Let me see here. So is it this one that I need then? Are these different? Oh, maybe so. Is that right? Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cut out both of them because I'm not sure. I am not quite sure. I think if you use this piece, you can kind of curve it up a little bit, which would be kind of cute. Okay, use for flat cup. I'm gonna do a flat cup. Never mind. Look at Concord and Ninth being the geniuses that they always are. Just when I think I have a question, they answer it. Okay, so we have those two pieces, and then I'm gonna do these tiny pieces out of the gray, I think. And you know what? Nothing is permanent, so if I cut these out and I'm not quite in love with it, then I will just redo it. Okay, so that goes there, and then trying to conserve my cardstock here. In fact, I think if I do this, it is the best. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, I'm also bringing in just a little bit of washi tape. And I think I may actually cut that little piece out 2 times because I'm going to end up heat embossing on the front, I think. Is that what I should do? Actually, I'm not quite sure yet because the sentiment that I like actually could go right on the card panel itself. So actually, let's not make any sudden decisions. Okay, let's test run this beautiful machine. And like I said, we have all of the plate sandwiches right here. So I am going to do just a die. So I'm going to need A, B, C. So A, B, I'm just keeping this over here so we can still see A, B, C, and then the paper and the cutting die, and then the other C plate. Okay, does that make sense? Let's do it again. If you're already using the Spellbinders Universal Plate System, this is identical. So I'm just slowing down for those who haven't used that yet because it's just a little bit more complicated, but super easy because you have the stuff here. So hard, but not hard. Okay, so we have the platform base, which is A, it's right here. And let me bring this super close so that you can see. You don't need to memorize all of the names because they just have the little A, B, C, D little icons on there. So we have A, and then we're going to do B, okay? And then we're going to do C. Then we will bring in our cardstock with our die, and look at here, we can actually do, because of the length of this, we can do all of it at once, which is really awesome. Okay, and then we have our final cutting plate. Okay, let me know if you took advantage of getting this new machine. I love when new machines come out. It's just exciting. And I know some of you did because you alerted me to it saying, did you see that there was one out? And for many of you, I had already said mine was already on the way. I think I had a little reminder alert at scrapbook.com because I knew this was coming, and the second they emailed me saying they had it, it was a rush to add to cart. Okay, so that ran through really, really nice. And now here are our die cuts. Ooh, we got a really good cut there. So cut through the tape as well. So I'm just going to remove all of these. And now we're going to get a really good idea. Let's remove this cutting plate. We'll get a really good idea for how this is going to look. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is the little handle and this little top part, decorative part of the cup. Okay, so, okay, I'm loving how this looks. Okay, in fact, Stanley, if you're watching this, we need this color combo. It's super cute. Okay, so we have this piece as well, which again, I'm going to reference. I think this one goes up at the top. Yes, it does. I was referencing the little example. Okay, and then what did this say? Used for, oh, this was the, oh, darn it. Okay, hold on. This one says used for curve cup, so I didn't quite follow directions for that one, which is fine. I still have plenty of cardstock, so I'm just gonna drop this. There we go. And this is my straw, and as you can see, it has the little kind of indent there that makes it look like a straw. Okay, so we have that, and then I need to go back through with my dies and find, so is it this one? It might be this one. Used for flat cup. Okay, so let's get that out of there. Put that back there. I should have looked at that, but that's okay. And then, do I have a little bit left? Do. Just enough. Okay, let's tape this back down, and now you know, if you do end up getting this die set, you know to slow down and see which one you're going to need. Okay, so I think I have everything that I need. Got a plate, and we'll just send this right back on through. So you do have to have, you know, a hand down on it, or it's going to kind of move around, but that's the same for their big machine too. And I think I'm used to kind of not having to hold it down because my Mini Evolution, it suctions to the actual, let me bring it in. It suctions to the actual surface. So once it's suctioned down, as long as the bottom is nice and clean and the seal isn't broken, then you really don't have to hold it as much, which is really nice. So just FYI. Okay, come on. You know what I'm thinking? Okay, this is getting to be tricky. You know what I'm thinking? I think I might have fun and actually recut out the straw and this little piece. Okay, maybe it's for certain design. I might recut these out of a gold glitter because you know what? It's a fun card and I can do a gold glitter straw if I want to have some fun. Okay, so, but this piece would go here in between the two, but I like it, it's just boring. So I'm gonna do gold glitter and see if I like that better. This is my favorite glitter cardstock for gold, at least. This is from Simon Says Stamp, and I'll link it below. So I'm just going to redo this and this, and just send that right through. Okay, now the only thing with this glitter is that we're not going to see the little indentation for the straw, so we'll just have to be mindful of that. But because this card is so warm, it's got all the nice warm tones, kind of thinking that bringing in a nice glittery warm element would be a little bit better. Okay, let's see if these will pop right on out. If not, I'll just do that. Okay, let's see how we like this. I think it's just gonna be super fun. Oops. Okay, so here's our straw. Oh, see, it's just fun. Okay, and then we have this little piece for here. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna make it just nice and fun. Okay, just like that. Oop, stinker. Okay, so roughly that's what that's gonna look like, and I think that's just much more me. Okay, now because these dies, as many dies are so small, I'm just going to pause and make sure they all get back on this little sheet here. We also need this little guy. Okay, good to go. So we figured out that part. Now, again, what I like to do is keep in mind my final card because it kind of gets me thinking through what I want to do for the rest of it, like the sentiment and all of that, what I have a room to do. And this isn't even a trimmed down panel, so I have to keep that in mind as well. But this is so cute. Okay, so we have all of these little pieces here, just very roughly placed on. Okay, that looks cute. So the stamps now, I don't really have room for I love you more than my emotional support water bottle, but I could do that on the inside of the card. Usually I don't stamp on the inside, but I could. I could do sip, sip, hooray, it's your day. I'm so happy you're in my life. That's kind of cute. Or you're a limited edition. Gosh, they're all really cute. You really cannot go wrong. I really like that I'm so happy you're in my life. I think that's just adorable. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to heat emboss this. So what I need to do is I'll just close this up. I'm going to bring my Misty in and grab just the body of the water bottle here. And because this can't really nudge into the corner, I'm going to tape it down. That looks good. Grab my stamp and get that nice and positioned where I'd like that. I'm trying to think through my handle, which will probably be somewhere like this. Actually, that handle goes up more. Do you see how the top of that meets the top of this? Because then we have more layers up here. So I wanted to know where the handle was because I want to maybe bring this more so that it is aligned with that handle. So maybe it's like right in the middle. Okay, hold on. Okay, see how it's kind of in the middle of where that handle is? Okay, I think that looks good. We'll remove that. I'm going to place just another piece of tape so that doesn't move. Grab my stamp, and this is a brand new stamp set, as you saw. So, let's see here. There we go. I'm going to grab my Versamark. Sorry, brand new stamp set, so I just conditioned that. I'm also going to use an anti-static powder right on the top of this, just to neutralize the paper. That way when I go to put down my embossing powder, which I think I'll just do a fine detail white, I think that will be pretty. A clear would also be really neat too, but I think I'll do white. But that way once I go put the powder down, it only sticks to where this Versamark is and doesn't stick to the rest of the paper. So you'll see that play out in a second. Okay, Versamark all over. I'm gonna double stamp that just because, ooh, that would look cute and clear. And how I know that is essentially it's gonna look like that, maybe just a tad darker. So instead of a color like a white or a gold, it's more of a tone on tone, which is really kind of fun. I encourage everybody to get a clear embossing powder. They are really, really fun to get creative with. Oh, that's cute. Do I wanna do the clear? No, I'm gonna stick with the white. I think that would be a really fun contrast. Okay, I'm done with that. This was the Versamark. I'll link everything as always that I'm using down below. I'm gonna untape this and replace this with just a little clothespin. Okay, it's gonna keep everything, especially my fingers, nice and cool during the heating process. Okay, I'm just gonna bring in some paper here just to catch all of the extra embossing powder. This is a fine detail white embossing powder. I really like this. And now I'm just going to place that right over the ink I just put down. Okay, and see how it just stuck to where I put my ink down and not to the rest of the paper. And if you do have some that kind of straggle, like if you, it's kind of hard to see, but because it's also fine, but if you do have some, you can get yourself a tiny little angled makeup brush. I just got this at Dollar Tree, and you can brush any additional powder off. It's super easy. So if you have something really fine like this, then you can get in between and you can just kind of dab it off. Okay, so just clean that up just a little bit. It's good to go. Now we're ready to melt. So let me just put all of my extra powder right back into the jar, and we're ready to heat up the powder that's on the paper. Okay, so now I'm just going to heat up my heat tool. I'm gonna make sure this is really hot before I attempt to melt the powder. That way I'm not just blowing the air, especially really warm air, as it's heating up. I'm not blowing the air over the cardstock and having it warp more than necessary. So what I'm gonna do is just let this heat up super, super hot. And once it's reached that hot temperature, then I'll melt the powder. Okay, and then by also adding the heat to the back, it kind of compensates for any warping that happens. So you can do that. It also just helps to ensure that all of that powder is melted. Okay, so that is good. I'm just gonna take my sweater and make sure that's nice and dry, but I'm going to just rub off any of that extra powder that we had put down, the anti-static powder, because sometimes that can give it a cloudy look. And then this is our final little embossed look. Isn't that pretty? I like the white. I think it's just the contrast that we need. Okay, so now we can think about building the card. But I do think I want to bring in a little bit of fun watercolor behind. And I was thinking it'd be fun to do this lemonade color that's really close to the nectar, just to add a little fun. And if we don't like it, we don't like it, which is fine, but we'll just come back to a blank piece of cardstock if we don't like it. I think I'm done with the cute scout. I really like that. That's a really cute machine. Again, the only thing is you kind of have to keep hold of it, which you do with the big machine anyway. So it's kind of as expected if it's going to be even smaller, but I really like it. That color is really pretty. Okay, I'm going to bring in my mini trimmer here. And originally, again, I was at that A2 size. So I was at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm just going to trim down 1/4 inch off of the top or the bottom and the side. So in the end, I'm going to have an 1/8 inch margin all the way around. So we're going to do 4 by 5 1/4. Again, just trimming off 1/4 inch off of 2 sides. Okay, 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm gonna bring in, I need to get some water, but let's bring in these watercolors and just see what we can do. Just bring in some fun. Even if we don't do, I don't know, even if we don't do some watercoloring, we could maybe even do some spatter, which would be fun. Oops, wrong way. Let's bring this in a little bit. Okay, and then when you're doing stuff like this, make sure that your other little pieces that you have are removed, because you're gonna, bring in, especially if you're doing some spatter all over and flicking paint, you don't wanna get it all over this, because trust me, it gets everywhere. It's on my computer screen, it's on my whole countertop, it gets everywhere. So I'm just moving anything that I don't want ruined. Okay, so I have a little water off to the side, and then I have my paints. Let's see which way. Okay, let's do that way. And I'm thinking about doing this lemonade color. I think that will be fun. So I'm just gonna see how I like it. Nothing is permanent, but I'm gonna wet down my brush and just wet down the cardstock. You can use watercolor paper if you'd like. 100% of the time, I don't want to say 100% because I do use watercolor paper from time to time, but I would say 99.9% of the time, I just use a regular cardstock. Now this is 80 pound. Let's get this really, really wet. Okay. So I want this to be like pretty translucent, just to add something but not be distracting. I just think it'd be fun to not have a purely white cardstock on the back. And I feel like I'm doing this technique kind of over and over again, but when you find something that you like visually, then just keep doing it. I mean, I'm sure I could do some other things, but it's hard when you're in love with how something looks. It's just hard to get away from it sometimes. Okay, so that's cool. Now I'm bringing in just to get an idea. See how subtle that is? But it's there. I might bring it out a little bit more. So maybe like, oh, I don't want it to be too uniform there. Okay. Making sure this is really, really watered down. Okay, just bringing it more to the left and right once more. Maybe even down a little bit too, but I think that's gonna kind of get lost. Okay, I like that. I think that's fun. It gives it just something. Now I do think, because I have my heat tool out, I'm gonna heat set this, because if I went to flick more paint on, and I'm just gonna use the same lemonade color because I like that tone on tone look, but if you go and just flick the paint on right away, if it's wet, it just sinks into the background. So you want it to be dry. So let's just heat set that. Okay, and then the areas that it matters, it's dry. It doesn't really matter in the middle because I am going to cover that up with the water bottle. So I'm just going to grab some more of that paint and just add some visual interest to the white cardstock there. Okay, and that is good. Sometimes with that flicking of the paint at the end, you just really need to be mindful of when to stop. So do you see how where it was wet, it just kind of sinks into the paint? Again, I wasn't really worried about that middle part because I'm gonna cover up that with the water bottle. But around here, I wanted those to be, you know, sitting on top of that. I'm gonna heat set that once more just because I should have started the card with this so it could just naturally dry, but I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to take this, so that's why I did it in this order. So let me just heat set that so it's nice and dry. Okay, while my card panel is off to the side just further drying, I'm going to do my card base. So this time I pulled 110-pound cardstock. I have this size at 11 by 4 1/4. So I want to do a center little fold down the middle. This is going to be a top folding card. So again, this was 11 inches. So that center will be right at 5 1/2. Press that down. And then I can just fold and crease. Okay, now remember, I had that really cute inside sentiment, and I usually don't do inside sentiments because I am one of those that really likes to write all over. I don't like to have to go around any type of inside sentiment. However, that sentiment is too cute not to use because I really wanted to do that on the front of my card. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on the inside. And it's a nice long skinny sentiment, so it's going to be easy to write around. Okay, so once more, I think I can just do a little magnet here. That'll be fine. I'm going to clean this off. I just have a mild baby wipe. Okay, and then we'll remove this. Bring it back to our little stamp sheet here. And I want to do that I love you more than my emotional support water bottle. Cute. Very fun. Okay. Now, again, it's nice and long and skinny, so that will look great. And I think that that's straight. I can always use the lines of my Misty. Let me zoom us in just a little bit here. Okay. I can use the lines of my Misty. I also lately have been grabbing for my T-square ruler just to kind of get an idea, because if you place it right on the side of your Misty, even if you don't nudge it up to your stamp, you can get a visual if you're not even or not, which has been kind of helpful. This is perfectionism in progress. I try to say I'm a recovering perfectionist, but I just don't know if I am recovering yet. Okay, so then again, you can use the lines of your Misty, and I think that's good. Good enough. Okay, make sure that is realigned. Again, this is a new stamp set, so I'll just condition that a little bit, but it's also really a small and fine stamp, so I don't want to do it too much to where it nudges it out of alignment. And then I'm going to opt for a nice dark ink. So I'm going to use the Memento ink. It's what I use 100% of the time when I just want a black ink. Okay. That is way cute. And I positioned that up because again, then I can probably just write under it and not around it. I also like the look of that when your sentiment is more up and not centered. Oops, don't get on my skin. Okay, there we go. And there it is. Okay, so we'll just clean this off once more, and now we have the inside of our card. I like how that looks, it's very cute. All right, we'll take this off, put this right back, and we're good to go for building the outside. So let's check on that panel and see if that has dried enough, and it has. Okay, so now I'm just going to flip it this way. I'll use my magnets just to secure that base. I'm gonna make sure, just because I don't do this often. Hold on, I wanna make sure, okay. I wanna make sure that the sentiment's on the right side and I'm not doing this, right? Okay, so I'm gonna make sure, always just double check. It's worth it. Okay, then you can see that I have a little bit of warping here, even though I heated it from the back as well. And that's just natural because we put water on paper. But I always put foam tape on the back, and that not only gives us some fun dimension, but it also helps straighten out that panel once more. You could also place this under something heavy if you had a little bit more time to just naturally flatten that. You could also send it through your die cutting machine if you wanted to flatten that out again. Just make sure that your cutting plates are clean, because if they're not, then you can put impressions on your panel from all of the cuts from the dies. Okay, so even doing that really did help. So sometimes just kind of getting that bent back into shape. But now the magic of the foam tape will just make that really, really flatten out. Okay, make sure that's all clean, and let's get some foam tape for the back. Okay, and I'm going to grab some non-stick scissors because this is very sticky foam tape, just as all foam tapes are. And I'm gonna add, because this is really narrow tape, I'll add 4 strips to the back. All right, and then again, it'll give it some dimension, but it'll also give it some structure to where it will help flatten that back out. Okay, and now I have to think through which way this went, because I wasn't quite, was it this way? Let's see, actually bring this in. That's fine, okay. I'm just gonna position this in the center. Okay, there we go. And now we can build this up. So again, I'm going to do foam tape again, but I'm gonna actually bring in this time some foam squares, and I have them in 2 sizes, which will actually be super helpful for this. In fact, I also have some foam strips that I've been meaning to bring out, and that might be really helpful for the straw. Okay, what I think I'll do though is, in order to place these 2 pieces down together, I think what I'll do is, sorry, that was kind of off camera. I'm gonna place these together and grab, let's see, is this too, it might be a little thick. I'm gonna place a little bit of washi tape, and, oh, that might be too thick still, hold on. Sometimes I like to attach my die cuts together and then add foam tape to the pieces. Let's see if I can do this though. So something like this. Okay, so now they're attached. So then when I go to add a foam square, hopefully math, yeah, I can just do them at the same time, and that foam square is going to further attach those 2. It's just a little bit easier than having to add a tiny piece of foam adhesive to something that tiny. But I actually have some foam strips that Simon Says Stamp sent to me a while ago, actually, that I have not used. It's been in my little pile of things to try. So they have some really tiny ones, which is really great. 4 sheets, and then you have the little dimensions there. Look at that. Okay, and that's the perfect size, I think, for our little straw. So we'll use that in just a moment. Okay, so I'll further just add some square adhesives to the back of my little Stanley mug here. And I'm not taking any of the backs off yet. So I'm not removing that back layer yet because I want to be able to move it around my card freely without having any permanency. Because I want to get placement right. Okay, so this goes this way. So that's gonna have to come down quite a bit. I might have to shorten the straw a little, which is fine. Okay, something like that. And then, let's see, are these tiny enough for the handle? Gosh, they are just perfect. Okay, but barely. All right, let's go through and, in fact, I might even, just because they are barely there, I'm gonna trim them down a little bit. That way I can have a little room for error. I don't know that I can be that precise getting that in the center. So let me grab all those little pieces that just came off and we'll just place those around the handle. Okay, let's do 2 more or 1 more cut in half. And there we go. Okay. The handle, not so much. Well, I guess the handle will help me with centering. But honestly, I want the bottle itself to be centered, so we really don't need that. Okay, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna make that official. So let me remove the backers here. Now, I did mention doing some florals, which I'm not opposed to, but I'm just not sure if I want to bring those in. But let's see how this all looks laid down. If we want to add anything, we can. So we have this. I think we had it about there. Okay. Okay. And we'll add this little one. Again, this is 2 pieces in 1. And do that. That is stinking adorable. Okay. And then I'm going to do the handle real quick, and then we'll bring out those tiny foam strips and test those out on the straw. So you can see how this pretty much takes over an entire A2 size card. This is a pretty big die set, and you do have that smaller die set as well. So this is supposed to go like that. Very cute. And then let's look here. So we have some thinner ones. So the ones on the end naturally are a little bit thicker. So I'm gonna just opt to go in one. Okay. Just kind of guess a little bit at how long to do that. Do about there. And I think that is pretty much identical in length that I need. Or in, I'm sorry, in width. So yeah, that was really, really perfect. Now I need to decide if I want to trim that down a little bit, and I think I do. It's just a little tall. There, I like that better. Okay, so now I just have to remove the little liner. And just kind of tuck that straw there. Cute. Oh my goodness, I really like that. I like the gold element. I think that's fun. And again, Stanley, if you're watching, we want the gold glitter element on our Stanleys. We really do. Okay. Now, do we want to do a floral? So here are some examples of the floral, which could be really cute. I think we should. And maybe, I don't know that I want to do up, but maybe just one little down here because I really like the gold element and I don't want to stifle that. You know, I don't want to get that all covered up. So let's just find a couple that we want to do. Let's get an idea. In fact, we could do some gold as well with these tiny little ones just to tie that in. Hold on, if I can get those out. We could do some gold on those. Let's do a little, maybe like these two. Is that too big? And then a couple leaves and be done. Okay, let's do that. And let's see how we like that. Okay, I am super skeptical, but I'm gonna give it a try. So I have Sprout, Sea Glass, and Creamsicle, which are crowd pleasers for me. So I'll do that and that. And I might cut these out in duos. All but maybe these. Just because I'm not convinced I don't, I'm not convinced I don't want to do it at the top as well, but we'll see. So I'm just going to give myself enough room to potentially bring more die cuts back in. Okay, I guess we're not done here. So let's bring this back in. Bring this over. And then I did want to kind of play with the idea of some little gold flowers. Okay, so again, let's grab our little plate sandwich here. Add all of these. I'm gonna try to just study this so I don't have to tape all of these down, which just means trying to be very steady and not wiggle these as I place them in. Okay, that should be good. Okay. And I think the flowers are super cute. I just am not sure with maybe my colors and things like that. So, okay, so we'll do maybe that. Oh, this would be cute. Actually, I think I already like it. And come here. Okay. Yeah. And what we could do is actually have fun with maybe some gold discs or even dewdrops in the center just to bring a little bit of dimension to those because they're pretty flat. So I might even bring these two down like that. That's cute. Actually, you know what I think is let's bring in the little glittery ones, but I don't think I'm gonna bring anything up here. I really like the look of it just below. So I might even just kind of scatter one or two just to kind of balance out the glitter. Maybe something like that, just to balance it out a little bit. I like that, I think. Okay, let's move everything out and let's get everything placed down. All right, let's get this final little look going. And need some fine detail glue and maybe, well, definitely a wand. Okay, so I'm gonna move this kind of out. And we do have more of the little gold flowers, so we can continue adding those. I'm gonna bring in some tweezers as well. That way I just can see a little bit better. Oh, come on. Okay, let's maybe just, and I'm okay with them honestly just falling off the side of the cup. I think that that's a really fun way, whoops, to have those little elements interact with the card panel. I think that would be really fun. Actually, do I need to, I'm wondering if I should put down the little leaves first. I'm gonna bring this little guy in and just do that and maybe that. Okay. And then that way this kind of covers. It looks like those are tucked underneath. Something like that. Okay, I like that. That's very cute. Stay there. In fact, I might even have these there. Oh. That precision tip, just add some glue underneath just to really solidify that. And I'm just kind of picking up the little end of the, there we go. It doesn't take much, just picking up the little end there. You can use this little, just to wipe away any extra glue. There we go. Okay, I like how that looks. Now, before I add the little gold pieces, I think it would be cute to add the middle little dewdrops. And this will give a tone-on-tone look, which is really subtle, but it will add dimension. So I just need to find the size I want. So like that. And that will end up drying clear. So it will look tone-on-tone. Right now it's white because of the glue. Oh, that's really sweet. Okay, so now I just need to decide maybe down here and down here. Just to tuck some of these little cuties in. Oh, that's cute. I like the glittery element. I'm gonna stop there. I really like how that looks. Oops, I got a little bit of glue there, but I'll just dab it off. Okay, that looks great. Now what I will do though, honestly, is just add a couple additional dewdrops just to make that little card base interact just a tad bit more. So I'm going to add a little trio to the upper left, a duo to the bottom right, and I think that will just kind of even everything out in my eye. Whoops. So I'll do that, that, and that. That's cute. Okay, and then come here, that, and that. Ooh, I like that. Okay, very sweet. Very quickly, let me just spin this card around to the back side of my card. And then I have a personalized stamp that I like to use. And this has been just a goal of 2024 to use this more and more. And I feel like I've used this on just about every card I've done. So sometimes you just have to set a goal and be mindful. And there we go. Especially after you set a goal, then it's just routine after that, right? Starts off as a goal and then it's routine. Okay, that is so cute. I really like how that turned out. I liked bringing the florals in because it added just an additional pop of color, but also, especially because before that it was pretty tone on tone, so that really did add some color. But I also really like it because it gave some just purpose to the bottom of this Stanley here. It just kind of filled it in a little bit. Not that you can't have white space in a card because I'm a lover of white space, but I think that just evened it out a little bit. So hopefully this was helpful. I'll link everything that I used down below. I really do love that Spellbinders scout machine. That's so cute. So you'll see that linked below too, as well as all of the stamps and dies to create this fun little card. Hopefully you enjoyed watching. Give this a thumbs up if you did, and I'll see you in the next video.